Hello and welcome to Premonition, Director's Cut. The original version was released to average reviews. Like 6 of 10, 5 of 10. It pretty much grew up to be a cult classic. Cool production. I think Silent Hill 2 had that. It actually had a cornucopia of colors you could change the blood. And this was something they added in for the director's cut, which basically is more of a cheat mode than anything, I think. Still out of the whole bunch, my favorite has to be the espresso suit. If you want these to be included in next following videos, let me know. They're more pretty much cheats. Again. Oh. Chibby chibby bang bang. And of course, they have to include this. Because why not? And showing that would be a bit of a spoiler. Shall we get to the game proper? I think we shall. I'll be cutting out all the upcoming loading scenes.
I want to hear another story.
Yes, of course. You've been waiting a long time for this, so how about a special one? This story is very strange and very nasty, but somewhat nostalgic. Do you think you can be a good girl and listen all the way to the end?
Is it a scary story?
It might be, but it's also a very important story. If you don't want to hear it, I can tell you a different story.
No, I want to hear it. This way, I won't be scared.
Will you turn on the TV then? Leave the sound down like always. Now, listen. This is important. At times, we must purge things from this world because they should not exist. Even if it means losing someone that you love.
And now we have access to game proper. I was just still getting used to camera controls here. It's like forever since I used the controller.
Could you wait just a little longer? This won't take long.
It seems basically if you took Twin Peaks and made it to a video game. Well, if you've ever dived into that series, you'd pretty much get that vibe. a bit of Asian flavor. And right here, I think this might be a little bit of a hint of things to come. A little bit of hard time. See what that second to the left was. And of course, this is taking place in like Pacific Northwest, somewhere, Oregon or Washington State. And yes, of course, you got little mini games like collectibles and fishing later in the game.
Sorry to keep you waiting. It will start soon.
It's about time to get started.
Zach. Zach, can you hear me? It's me, York. If you can hear my voice, could you respond? What's the matter? Zach, can you hear me? If you can hear me, say something. Zach. Good. I thought you went to sleep. Zach, don't be surprised. The crime took place out in the country this time. Let's take it slow. Okay, Zach?
Sure, that's one way of looking at it, but it's totally wrong. Listen, they both need each other. It's called interdependency, and they both know it. Yeah, I know. He does terrible things to Tom. Nasty, even sadistic things. But that's fine, as long as that's what Tom wants. Think about it. His actions. He's always asking for it. It's his partner's job to fulfill that need, and Jerry knows that. Proof? Well, in the Tom and Jerry show, they live with each other. Hello? Hello?
Zach, I can't believe the Bureau still can't get me a satellite phone.
These puppies are making me go to another town in the boondocks again.
Well, I'll be a happy camper, even if it ends up being a waste of time. At the very least, it'll get me out of the cramped city for a while. Right, Zach? The perpetrator from the last case really was something. Who'd have thought there'd be razors laced into her nails? Crazy. Just crazy. Well, at least I now have a scar to show off. See this? I got this when I arrested the Catwoman wannabe. Women. They're crazy. Don't you agree, Zach? Zach, there goes the civilized world.
And back to the game proper. Again, still getting used to these controls here. As you can see, I pretty much hinted at the wooden humor of things to come, like police brand cigarettes. As you can see, Agent Honor is going to be our little, well, currency in this game. Which you can do by doing various things, like shaving, various hygienes and destruction, and, well, I'll let the game show you that. As I remember, the mission knife is pretty much the worst melee weapon in the game. Of course, who doesn't like bandage brand heavy brand cigarettes? So saying, Band-Aid brand Band-Aids. Or of course. The worst enemy of the game, the camera angle. And it's always good to go with the off path. Again, bandage brand bandages. Whereas, I believe the colloquial term is medical adhesive strips. I'm still trying to figure out the controls game. And actually give me a little. And there we go.
Looks like we're being welcomed. Zach, I'll let you handle the meet and greet.
That was the Premonition to the Deadly Premonition, the title. As you get small clues, it becomes more and more clear of things coming. But you get it in bits and chunks. And here we have the invisible wall of the game, which will basically be explained as the plot continues to march forward. And about time for me to learn how to run. Because, pretty much, you walk at a snail's pace, and this is an okay sized map. Nothing is quite what it appears as we enter, well, get closer to entering Greenvale proper.
Huh?
It's pretty much a play on the, only true monsters would actually hurt. Animals such as beloved dogs and cats. So, let's hunt down the mysterious stranger. Not foreboding whatsoever. I think I may have fucked up a cutscene right there. Or it could have been a pseudo jump scare. And here's a quirky part of the game. the branding. The pickle brand pickles. Airy, reclusive brutes. Shame they reuse that flavor text. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will lead us into combat proper. They never really go beyond just calling them shadows. It's a bit late to actually do a little weapon tutorial after, well, blocking us with the, cardboard, fencing earlier. But the control scheme for targeting is really janky at first. But at least the enemy's polite enough to give us a chance to get used to it. And again, the game warns us for getting headshots. Again, if I remember quite correctly, you're only giving a slight answer to the backstories of these creatures. But they only get tougher as the game goes on, especially the ones that get firearms later.
Great. Amazing.
Again, anybody's played a video game, you always have to take the off-beaten track, even if it is leading to a dead end. I wanted to see the HD textures on this. It could only make out partial, like, artifacts on the side. Remember, it's actually called Greenvale. Let's continue the next area, shall we? Less civilization and automatic doors.
Been through a lot of crazy situations, but that one takes the cake.
It's the first time I've been attacked so directly. Zach, can you give me a logical explanation about what that was? Never mind, don't answer. Life is fun because of the mysteries. Right, Zach?
Of course. And our saving points are actually phones, I believe, in this game. You can find them very so often, or automatic checkpoints. Now, a little quirk of this game is, some points you can pick up items, and sometimes you can basically pick up until your inventory maxes out on a certain item. When the bare minimum is, well, lollipops. Feels like those are like, what, the old drumsticks? Future me, add in a picture of a drumstick. Is anyone getting shades of Alan Wake? And now this game gets unapologetically into, well, combat. And again, you also get bonuses for using environmental damage. So, why not use it to your advantage? The good thing about, I believe, the default gun is it has unlimited ammo. Here, I'm showing that, well, melee weapons aren't the best for opening objects. Well, I mean ranged objects. Vice versa, what I meant. Ranged weapons are not good for opening up crates, as melee weapons are better suited for that, even if they're kind of limited durability. And much to my surprise, there's absolutely nothing inside. I was trying to get the barrel behind this guy, but a simple headshot will do. Problematic. Problematic camera angles, as I said before. Foreboding much, eh, Zach? And thus we have to continue the loop all the way around. Another copy of the Greenvale sign. And as you can see here, these black areas basically spawn all these shadows. As I said before, this environment to help you. And of course, them trying to be sneaky. Of course, it's not going to be overly hard at the very beginning. Not until you find people who have the, what? What are they? Uzis, AKs, and I seem to be having trouble walking to this item. Again, I'm switching over and switching back. And to my surprise, absolutely nothing. The odd thing is you can, like, strafe with weapons like that. Not really the most useful, but it's better than nothing. I mean, if you take the purple off the sky, that's pretty much the Pacific Northwest in a nutshell. Well, you switch the shadow demons with meth addicts, and you're pretty much right at home. But I was trying to read that. Is this like cold or? I think I just went by too quickly to figure out what that was, but use of a stabilizer if your thing is like wiggling all over the way. Wiggling all over the place. That's what happens when your stamina bar right underneath your health just goes all the way up. For the life of me, couldn't seem to blow that up. At least there's audio cues to know that you got a headshot. Again, reuse flavor text. I don't think we're alone in the woods. And thus, we got a key item for something, well, a puzzle that's coming up. Pretty much leaving this whole place rather useless, except for the storage box. Now, how it should have went proper earlier. Some agent honor is better than nothing. Again, weaning you into another mechanic of the game. What an inopportune time to reload.
It's amazing.
Well, that, as you can see here, I'm just already in the swing of the game. Future me, you mind putting like what that text said that I kind of skipped over? Always has some nice flavor text. And thus, with that puzzle solved, we go to the gate. Of course, nicely respawning 2 enemies as soon as I came right back outside. Too bad in the beginning they're not that big of a threat. Of course, this place is swarming with these shadows. They have the power shuffle if you actually let them to just charge towards you. Maybe the next video I'll show well, I'll actually show in a supplementary video what happens if you lose these things. And also the flavored text on the card that I picked up earlier. Thing about right here, I didn't realize that this whole area is like an endless spawning place for these guys. And I don't think there's any way to actually get these guys to stop spawning. But of course, with future, what's the word for it? Foresight, I wouldn't make the same mistake. But still, all in all, it's good practice.
Nice shot.
So, there really isn't distance cues on how close they are, to be honest. It still gets me a second time. Oh. Again, rinse and repeat.
Great, yes.
I think I was At this point, I was starting to realize that,
Amazing. Amazing, yes.
pretty much, realized these things were endlessly spawning. Again, another stabilizer. At least they're play enough to let you reload.
Bullseye, yes. Bullseye, yes. Bullseye. Amazing. Nice shot. Nice shot.
Pretty much just endless grinding at this point. And here, one more for the road, I believe.
Great.
Again, you have to be in a certain distance to blow shit up. Good thing they didn't have, like, area damage if you stepped in one of the black puddles. Fault of me not knowing the full layout scheme. So let's fast forward, because that wasn't the true ending. Now, how it should have really played out. Now, fast forward through all that nonsense. No, I didn't get to keep any of those items. And that's what happens when you actually succeed at that scenario. So many questions unanswered. But I believe we've actually come to the end of this first part, which actually gave a lot of people a false impression on how this game was to play out. It was going to be a full hardcore horror game. The vines of no going back.
There's definitely something in this town. Do you feel it, Zach? My coffee warned me about it.
Yesterday morning, the milk I poured in my coffee made a sign. It said, "Tomorrow you'll arrive in a place that will change your fate."
And that should conclude this part. Just to finish up with save, and then we'll be on to Greenvale proper.